The Indiana Fever front office has officially hit the panic button, and the entire landscape of the WNBA season might be shifting because of it. When a professional basketball franchise makes a sudden, unprompted roster transaction right in the middle of a highly contested playoff push, it immediately sets off massive alarm bells. You do not just shuffle your deck when the stakes are this incredibly high unless you are desperately trying to cover up a critical vulnerability. We have just received breaking confirmation that General Manager Amber Cox and head coach Stephanie White have frantically pulled the trigger on an emergency roster move, signing a brand new forward to the squad out of absolutely nowhere.
So the Indiana Fever has signed a new forward moments ago, guys. Stephanie White and Amber Cox is trying to get something done. Now, this kind of make me question what actually is happening with Aaliyah Boston injury. Let's dive into this player right now.
This sudden, emergency transaction forces us to ask the one terrifying question that has been keeping the Indiana Fever coaching staff and fan base awake at night. What is actually happening behind closed doors with Aaliyah Boston? The whispers surrounding Boston's recent injury status have been growing louder by the day, but the front office has been incredibly tight-lipped about the severity of the situation. However, actions speak much louder than press releases. This sudden, mid-season forward signing by Stephanie White all but confirms the darkest fears of the Indiana faithful. The situation with Aaliyah Boston might be far more severe than the medical staff initially let on. To understand the gravity of this move, you have to understand that Aaliyah Boston is not just a rotational piece for this Indiana franchise. She is the absolute defensive anchor in the paint, the primary rim protector, and most importantly, the critical pick-and-roll partner that makes this entire offense function. The synergy between Boston and the backcourt is the engine that drives the Fever's half-court execution. If Boston's injury compromises her availability or her explosive mobility for a significant stretch of time, the entire championship window for this current roster structure is completely thrown into jeopardy. The front office knows this. They are scrambling to find a temporary band-aid for a structural wound that could derail their entire campaign. But while the executives are sweating in the war room, trying to patch the holes in the front court, the absolute engine of this franchise is proving exactly why she is the most dangerous player in the league. If Aaliyah Boston is forced to miss time, the entire weight of the Indiana Fever organization falls squarely onto the shoulders of Caitlin Clark, and the statistical evidence proves that she is more than capable of carrying it. We are not just talking about a great rookie season anymore. We are looking at a player who is actively rewriting the mathematical limits of the point guard position. To truly contextualize the burden Clark is carrying, you have to look at the history of offensive orchestration in this league. While Olivia Miles firmly holds the incredible, highly respected record for being the fastest player to ever reach 500 points and 150 assists, Caitlin Clark has completely redefined the upper limits of offensive production. Clark now holds the absolute all-time record for the fastest player in history to reach 1,000 points and 500 assists. Think about the sheer magnitude of those numbers for a second. 1,000 points and 500 assists at a breathtaking, record-shattering speed. That is not just elite volume scoring. That is an elite, superhuman offensive system operating entirely out of one player. When you lose an all-star center like Aaliyah Boston, your offensive spacing collapses and defenses aggressively trap the perimeter. But Clark's historic ability to simultaneously score and distribute at a volume the WNBA has literally never seen before is the only reason the Fever organization is not completely collapsing under the weight of this injury news. And Caitlin Clark's strategy for keeping this team afloat goes far beyond the box score. She understands that to survive the grueling reality of missing a star teammate, you need to build alliances, boost morale, and completely dominate the psychological culture of the sport. While the front office was busy signing emergency contracts, Clark was busy executing a masterclass in influence and sneaker diplomacy. We just witnessed a massive cultural shockwave roll through the WNBA community, and it started with a simple text message. Courtney Williams, one of the most respected, hard-nosed veteran guards in the league, recently went live on her stream and completely broke the internet by reading a direct text she received from Caitlin Clark.
Asked her, now moments ago, she just read off a text message from Caitlin.
I just got a text, chat. Do y'all want to hear the text? Yeah. Courtney, this is Caitlin Clark. I got a gift for you and T on the stream. You will need them for the game.
Yep, I'm on the way.
I need them.
Listen to the sheer excitement and genuine respect in that exchange. Caitlin Clark personally reached out to outfit Courtney Williams with her highly coveted signature shoes. This is not just a friendly exchange of footwear between peers. In the highly competitive, ego-driven world of professional basketball, what you wear on your feet is a direct, public endorsement.
I just got a text, chat. Do y'all want to hear the text? Yeah. Courtney, this is Caitlin Clark. I got a gift for you and T on the stream. You will need them for the game.
Oh! When Courtney Williams, a fiercely independent veteran, enthusiastically yells out that she needs every single bright color available and openly declares that she is making Caitlin's signature kicks her new official game shoe, it signifies a massive shift in the locker room dynamics across the league.
Earlier today, if I could find the exact clip here, bro, these are nasty, bro. So these are all of Caitlin Clark's shoes that she has worn so far. And every last one of them is straight pressure. Straight pressure. Put them in the oven, it's hot. Put them in
The shoes are creating an absolute frenzy in the global sneaker market, described as straight pressure. But more importantly, by securing veterans like Courtney Williams as unofficial ambassadors for her brand, Caitlin Clark is actively building a psychological empire. She is recruiting mindshare. At a moment when her own front office is panicking about front court depth and injury reports, Clark is projecting absolute power and confidence, proving that her gravitational pull within the league is inescapable. She is keeping the focus on her brand, her pace, and her narrative, shielding the Indiana locker room from the panic of the Aaliyah Boston situation. This level of elite composure is exactly what Indiana needs right now, especially considering the external pressures Clark is constantly forced to navigate. She doesn't just have to carry the offense, she has to navigate some of the most intense, uncomfortable political dynamics in the sport. Take, for example, the highly publicized, deeply tense situation during the recent All-Star game.
Now, Cheryl Reeve will be coaching Caitlin Clark. Now, Cheryl Reeve, Caitlin Clark coached tonight in the All-Star game. Reeve worked with Don Staley and general manager for the Connecticut Sun to keep Caitlin Clark off the 2024 Olympics. Reeve will not allow Caitlin Clark any minutes tonight. Bank on it. Ooh. Yeah.
Cheryl Reeve, the very same coach who famously collaborated with the selection committee to inexplicably keep Caitlin Clark off the 2024 Olympic roster, was abruptly forced into a situation where she had to coach Clark on national television. The irony was incredibly thick. The establishment guard, who went completely out of their way to sideline the most productive point guard in the world, suddenly had to draw up offensive plays for her. It was a highly toxic dynamic that would have completely derailed a lesser player. A young guard could have easily let the bitterness of the Olympic snub affect her performance, or let the awkwardness of playing for Cheryl Reeve distract her from the game. But Clark remained completely unbothered. She operated with the same cold, calculating efficiency that allowed her to shatter the 1,000-point and 500-assist threshold. This is why the Indiana Fever are the most fascinating and dangerous team in the WNBA right now. The front office is operating in a state of high alert. The sudden roster move by Stephanie White and Amber Cox proves that the internal concern regarding Aaliyah Boston is very real and highly pressing. If Boston is severely compromised, the traditional blueprint for an Indiana championship run has to be completely thrown out the window. But the reason the rest of the league is still terrified of the Fever is that Caitlin Clark does not operate on a traditional blueprint. While the executives panic, Clark is casually breaking all-time distribution records and outfitting the league's veterans in her signature shoes. She is an entirely self-sustaining offensive ecosystem and a one-woman cultural phenomenon. The next few weeks will define the future of the Indiana Fever franchise. The medical updates on Aaliyah Boston will dictate the defensive ceiling of this team. But one thing is absolutely certain. As long as the ball is in Caitlin Clark's hands, the Fever will not quietly fade away. They are entering the most critical stretch of the season with a massive question mark in the paint. but they are armed with the most lethal, record-breaking point guard in basketball history. The panic in the front office is real, but the absolute ice in Caitlin Clark's veins is even more undeniable. The rest of the league better be paying very close attention because a wounded animal backed into a corner with this level of firepower is the most dangerous opponent you will ever face.